be getting it on. I be riding around town, stunting on you clowns. My hands up in the air, they never coming down. Y'all be hating on me.
Hey guys, this is your boy B Stone.
And you with your boy JB.
Welcome back to the Talk to Me Driver podcast. How y'all been enjoying yourselves? Have y'all been paying attention? Have y'all been looking and listening? If you got questions, guys, we still have not heard from y'all. Some of y'all I know been reaching out or want to reach out but haven't. Come on guys, don't be scared. Hey, you truck drivers out there, man, ain't nobody trying to get you. We just want to interview to see how the trucking side is. We've been walking up to some of you drivers and y'all questioning us like we first 48. we just trying to see more into the industry so we can enlighten the future and the next generation of how it is in this season.
We're trying to help everybody, man. We're not trying to make money off nobody. We're just trying to drive the force and keep driving the force in the transportation industry, making people aware on what opportunities they have and the career choices they can make. Because like we tell you all the time, a lot of people do not know on where to go or how to start or even how to begin. And today our topic is ownership. How do you feel about ownership?
And guys, just because you do not own a truck, just because you do not own anything, and you're a company driver, if your company is on the stock market, you're with Warner, you're with Snyder, you're with Covenant, you with JB Hunt, those companies are on the stock market. You want to influence your company? Buy your company shares. You getting money because your company gonna pay you dividends.
Yep.
The more stocks you buy of that company and you work for that company, yeah, that company paying you, but you own part of it. So the more you invest in it, the more you have input in it, you're gonna receive these letters that you're gonna have to vote on things. So you don't be just the driver driving mad about, man, this ain't going right, this ain't going right. We'll buy some stock.
You'll have a say so. You own a share of the company. That's all these big corporations. They have, it don't matter how much money you put, but you can at least say, oh, I own a piece of the company. I got a piece of that pie. Your pie keep growing over in 20 years. Shoot, you might own a fraction of the company. Who knows? And you can have 401k, your Roth IRA, and your stock in the company. And people talking about, well, I ain't got enough to retire. You could have enough to retire if you use your money wisely instead of buying these high dollar cars, expensive homes. When you know you're not gonna be making that type of money in your 60s, you gotta think for the future. So you showcasing yourself what you can have when you invest in the company that you're working for. You're not only a driver, you're not only a captain, you're not only a deliverer, you're not only a laborer, but you also an owner. And basically, you got ownership in all aspects. So you gotta drive that force into that thick skull so that you know it's possible. Everybody say it's not possible. It is possible. Look at the stock market. Oh, I don't know stock. I don't know how to read it. I don't know how it works. Take your time. You took your time on how to go do this or go do that and learn how to play golf or learn how to, anything. You took time to get that CDL. You studied the book. So why can't you learn how to do stocks?
Guys, I just want to tell y'all, if you are avoiding stocks because you want something instantaneous, that crypto investment stage, that spurt of wealth of millionaires that came from that has died down. You can still become and grow and invest in crypto, but you are not seeing the acceleration that you first saw when crypto first came. That's just like in any stock. You buy current crypto, it may die. You'll never see it again, and you done lost your money. With the stock market, man, they've only had in the 2000 to 2008, that was the only time in the last 30 years they reported negative numbers. That's because of 9/11. That's because of the tech bubble. That's all because of certain things went on in the world at that time. That was the only time that they really reported negative numbers.
So not even that. Do you know your 401k is in the stock market?
Thank you.
Do you know your Roth IRA is in the stock market? So why don't you invest your money into the company in that same market?
Because you're paying the same amount you're paying in that company. If that company is giving you a percentage, okay, take that percentage that company is giving you, and they got a thing called after-tax investments, which means you can do a mutual fund, you can do a money market, you can do an IRA. What those things are in long-term investments, just like your 401k. Look at this, guys, because they're after you've been taxed. They can't tax you again from putting money.
You got your pre-tax Roth. Well, no, Roth is already taxed because you're using your money, but you got your pre-tax for your 401k. Then you can still invest after tax, but you remember you got a limit.
Yes.
In the 401k, I think it's like 23 or 24,000. Then Roth IRA is like 7 to 10,000, if I'm not mistaken. But you still can invest regardless. It don't matter how much money you're putting, something counts because it's getting an interest. Especially Roth is getting some type of interest, and you can put it on a bond, security bond, or
mutual fund, or CD,
anything. And I always ask, just like yesterday, I was calling to ask about trying to see can I grow my business with a growing interest on my business account, and they said yeah, but it's at 2%. 2% is not much, but it's something.
Yeah.
It's something. Why don't you have your money making money while it's sitting there? They using your money at the bank anyway. Why not?
Guys, have y'all heard of the Rule 72? The Rule of 72 is what the banks use to invest your money. Think about this. You take your check $1,000, $1,200 and hit that bank account. Yeah, you have access at that moment to that particular cash, but they also taken the cash and invested it in and created a loan for people to buy homes. Now, at that rate, right now, the market, the real estate, they're getting about 6%, 7%, some even 5%, as low as 5% on the money that the people are putting into this bank, and they're making 5, 6, 7%. The average growth of inflation is at about 3 to 4%. So they're making 3 to 4% more than inflation, so they stay ahead of inflation. That's why banks stay in doing what they do. Rule of 72 is you can take whatever percentage you get, divide it into 72, and that tells you how many years it's going to take for your money to double. If you don't understand how much it takes or how long it takes for your money to double, then how do you know you balling like you say you balling? Because balling ain't now. Balling is when you 60, 70, 80 and you ain't got to work.
Yeah, you ain't got to work at all. You let your money work for 20 plus years for you. That's why you need to buy a piece of the company you work for, or even invest in gold and steel. Steel and gold are not going anywhere. Cement's not going anywhere. You invest in those things that you know for sure fact they're not going anywhere, no matter how much money you put in. Just say you put in $100 a pay period, or $200 a month. Instead of spending $250 on a pair of Jordans or trying to impress people or buy jewelry for post on social media, impress your stock market, impress the bank account, impress that. So it keeps growing and growing and growing.
You gotta understand, guys, y'all out here, and I know some of you own operators because I see some of y'all Facebook groups. Some of y'all posting, y'all making $3,400 coming home. So you telling me you making $3,400 coming home as an owner operator. Out of that, what have you put away? Did you even take 10%? If you take 10% of what you make and put into a Roth IRA, a mutual fund, or a growth fund, and look at the tracking of how the company or that growth fund is growing. Look at the track record. They can't give you future without a past. So if you go back and look at the past, and you notice for the last 20, 30 years, they've been accelerating in interest. What do you think the next 20, 30 years are going to be?
It's gonna keep growing.
It's gonna keep growing. But you working, you getting older. So you making all this money right now. What's 10%? You take 10% every week. Most of y'all get paid weekly. So if you're making $3,400, that's $340. You put into something that when in 20, 30 years later, you sit back, you got $1.4 million, $1.5 million, and it's still accruing and investing. You can pull from it when you need it. But you talk about ownership. Y'all, look, guys, just like you have those REITs, that invest into real estate investment companies and you buy money into, just think about the trucking industry and think about buying stock in that trucking company, because that trucking company, in order for that major conglomerate trucking company to stay afloat, they need investors. So
sure.
The more you put into it, even if you leave the company, you still own part of that company. That means that company, whenever it has growth, or whenever it's pitching a new technology, or whenever it's pitching anything new to change that company, you gotta have a vote in it.
Not even that, you get paid every 60 days.
Off of it.
Every 60 to 90 days. And let me give you the example of this. You bought we just go say Apple. The stock in Apple right now, we just go, not right now, but I'm just saying something. Stock in Apple, $10.
Just an example, guys.
And you bought 100 shares. You bought 100 shares. A few years later, Apple went from $10 to $100 a share. Now your money then grew. Now we go fast forward. You done waited 20 years. Not say 20 years. We're just gonna say 5 years. Apple, all them shares you bought, Apple decides they're at $400, $500 a share. They go do a stock split. So guess what? You about to get even more shares when they do the stock split. So now your money then doubled, might as well say almost tripled, because you let it sit there and grow. You bought low, and if you be crazy to sell, I wouldn't even sell because it's gonna keep growing. Then you wait the 20 years when you retire, you still the owner of that company. You still got your stocks. You can sell the shares and keep some and still have money, still get money and grow interest every 60 to 90 days. You got your 401k and you got your IRA. So do you think you're going to be working? No. You're going to be living off that investment you did 20 years ago.
Think about it. So if you young people, if y'all don't think about getting into trucking, get into the trucking. Look at the trucking companies that are on the stock market. Look at how the group. Start buying their stock. Start buying those trucking company stocks now. Because transportation in the trucking industry, in the maritime industry, the aircraft industry, they're not going anywhere no time soon. Just like real estate ain't going nowhere.
Even rental cars. I found this out and it blew my mind. You got all these different rental car companies. The girl told me we all the same people. They just got different names. from Hertz to Enterprise to with 30 or 50, whatever it is, all those companies the same person. They the same owner. So don't be fooled. Invest.
Yes, guys, especially if you're young, because I've been in trucking 11 years. Knowing what I know, having multiple trucks, being a company driver, having that kind of understanding between both worlds, that the money that I was making as an owner-operator, or even the money I could make, even if it was $5, I was buying a share of whatever company was on the stock market, and I'm in it 11 years, I would have grown. I would have had a portfolio of strictly transportation companies. Transportation companies, they're buying each other. Look at the big ones. Snyder.
Bowen,
J.B. Hunt. Grumman, Northrop Grumman. GE, technology companies. These companies are all moving things on trucks. So you mean to tell me they're going to stop moving on a truck or moving on a boat or moving in a plane because you bought the stock? Because you bought it at $20, who knows what 10 years? Hey, everybody complaining about trucks going electric.
and that's the next thing. The wind farm.
Thank you.
You invest in that. The wind farm, hybrid, electric, gas,
All that is in
LNG is being transported. LNG, that's another thing to invest in because it's definitely not going nowhere.
You got tech companies, guys. You got to think about all these tech companies, man. I'm learning a lot with these companies are buying each other. So you got to think, you got Snyder or Warren or J.B. Hunt. They're looking for smaller, lucrative companies, and they're buying them.
Yep.
Because they already got contracts. They already got fleets. So all they're doing is buying and keeping the assets and expanding. So if you see your company, your paycheck might look like $1,200, $1,300 as an employee or less than that. But if you buying their stock at $20, $30 a share, who's to say 30 years from now they ain't grew to $100? You don't know that. You don't know but you watch. But guys, the main purpose of this is, hey guys, own what you're doing.
Yep.
I don't care what industry you're in. Own what you're doing.
And we don't want to hear that bull crap. Oh, I don't know how to be an owner. You ain't gotta be an owner. Just put your money there.
You own in.
You go put your money on Amazon.
Shoot,
you can own them. You buy
every day.
Much as you put that card in there every 2 weeks or every week on that Friday, you got that card full, ready to go. Oh, I got my Amazon ready to go. You can own Amazon. Amazon did a stock split. About a few years ago, and their stock was high. It was over $6. It was like 3,000 a share, and they did a stock split. Amazon stock was like around $100 and it kept growing, got to 3,000 a share. Man, if you had 20 shares at 3,000 a share, you made some serious change. But what's stopping you from being an owner and investing into it now? You can be that same owner.
You might not. And think about this. Most people don't ever meet the owner or the CEO of the actual company you work with.
Nope.
So you own a company and they'll never meet you. But you can buy. Do you know a lot of companies or a lot of people have bought so much into a company to where they work their way up into noticeability from the company because of how much they've invested into that company? To where that company is now like, hey man, what made you do this? See, you got to understand, if we look at real estate, everybody cannot afford a $150,000 house plus $150,000 worth of land. Everybody, we own by, okay, why not invest in a REIT? Invest in a REIT. You find a REIT and it's making $100, $150 a share, you buy that share. Every time you get $150, you buy a share. Now think about this, that REIT company is taking your money and buying subdivisions, buying commercial properties, buying land, and you own part of all of that they buy.
Yep, they even got an app where you can invest in properties. It's called Lander. Lander. You can invest in properties. Like whoever paying rent for that house, you making money off of it.
It's just, you gotta understand, do your research. Everybody wants the quick and easy. Everybody wants the quick, fast. Hey,
it ain't nothing quick and easy. No. If it's too quick and too easy, guess what? Clank, clank. Somebody coming for you.
Because you spending the wrong way.
What 2 Chainz said, the Feds watching? they gonna be watching for real.
You doing something like that? Because guys, look, we're in this industry to live and make a living. I hear a lot of truck drivers. I'm speaking from the truck driver standpoint because I am one and I am in the industry.
Talk to me, driver.
You hear a lot of them, their health is bad. They gone from their family years of months upon months. Some guys drive for years before they even go get them a house. They're that long, they're single, they're able to do that. Or they go months before they come back home to see their family. Yep. But you say you're making all this money, guys. I know if you're able to spend $900 on a tire, unexpected, you can take $150 and buy a share of something.
Yep.
You can buy a share of something.
Cause that money ain't going nowhere. It's always gonna be there.
Thank you. And if you know if you're a person that is better out of sight, out of mind, keep it out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. Because the more you're able to keep things out of sight, out of mind, and you can just check on it when you want to or when you need to, that's the best thing to do, because your mind is focused on providing for your family. So you provide for your family 2 ways. You provide a future for your family. So if something happens to you on that road and you got 2,000 shares in a portfolio on these different companies and you leave this world and you don't have a life insurance policy, your family got something they can reap a benefit.
Yep.
Yes, they got your equipment. Yes, I get it. Hey man, forget the tangible all the time. The tangible all the time, you ain't gotta be the person that stands in the front and say, yeah, I built this. No, be the person that, hey man, we own that. What it look like? You telling your kids you riding by.
We own that.
You ride by a subdivision because you invested in a rent that's in your city.
That's me.
You can tell your kids, hey, we own part of that. Even though daddy or mama out here on the road, look what mom and daddy buying. We don't own it, but we own it. They using our money and they paying us from this. Or you ride by and you see a HEB or a Kroger or whatever that you invested in a rent, and that's what they built, a Planet Fitness, and they built that, and you get investment paid from a Planet Fitness, from a McDonald's. Hey guys, have y'all ever, I know y'all, we finna end it, but there's a thing called a triple net lease. And I know we kind of getting into real estate, but I know the transportation industry, people make a lot of money. Transportation industry makes a lot of money. There are two ways to do a triple net lease. One way is you can be 100%, you buy it, you invest into a company, they needed an investor, and you are over everything. You're over payroll. Anything go wrong, you got to take care of that. You're responsible for taxes, payroll, and all of that. Then there's another side of a triple net lease that you can be the investor and be a silent investor. And guys, you can get, over the next 30 years, they'll negotiate, hey, look, you'll get 9% your first year. You'll get 10% your second year. You'll get 12% your third. Fourth, fifth year, they go up in percentage for 5 years, 5 and 6 years. So just think about this, for the next 30 years, your percentage is gonna grow for the next 5, but you're gonna get 30 years of payment for you taking and investing your money into a facility. Now it does require a lot of cash and a lot of liquidity. That's why I say do rents. Do rent. You can do a rent, get into that stock, look at that company, what that company is invested in, what they buy, what they build. Buy that. Because you may not have $1.6 million somewhere cash to you. And if you don't have that, that's fine, because I don't have it.
Me either.
Because hey, I know I get $150. I know I do that. So let me buy into this rent. I'm driving trucks. Let me buy into this trucking company. Hey, I drive for Forward Air, and they are on the stock market, and they do $20. Their shares are about $23 to $25 right now. They do containers. They do dry van. They do reefer. Stuff ain't going nowhere no time soon. But the company has to change. The company has to elevate. The company has to abide with the time. So if you're gonna abide with the time, why not invest into something that's already the vehicle that has to do it, and you just sit back and collect the check. Buy in and collect the check. It's better than gambling. You feed that slot machine, you don't win every time. But you slide into that stock grow. You got longevity.
Long term.
So guys, it's just about ownership, guys. I know some of y'all ain't even really looking, but hey, we gonna tell you. You can reach us at TALKTOMEDRIVA. That's Talk To Me Driver at gmail.com, guys. Reach out
join
to
us,
man.
Come join us.
If y'all want to get on the show, man, come get on the show. Express your experience. Let's hear your experience. Let's hear what y'all talk about, because y'all see us all the time.
Yeah.
So let's see what y'all got. Let's see how your world.
No excuses that you can't make it. We got Zoom.
Exactly.
Instagram video, Google Meet. It don't matter.
Microsoft Team. We can do this on any area. So don't say because you may be. No, man. Let's do this. Let's let the world hear. Because we're here to show and experience. That's how the world grows and changes. If you got an experience that you're experiencing and you see growth in it and you've been experiencing growth in it, share it.
Yep.
Share it. That's the only way you open up the eyes of a person that feel like they ain't got nothing. And they making good money. They just don't know where to go because there's so much stuff out there. Hey guys, this is B Stone with the Talk To Me Driver podcast, and we are coming back at you again with another episode, guys. If you made it this far, thank you. We have a very, very special interview with Mr. Darren Murphy.
What's going on, everybody? We got Darren Murphy on our Talk To Me Driver podcast. He's sitting down here with us today. Darren, tell me how you doing, man, and how did you become part of the transportation industry?
I'm doing great. Just living the dream right now. Well, some 15 years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What got you interested to be in the transportation industry?
Well, when I first got out of high school, I went to Battle from my hometown, and got on a shrimp boat.
Okay.
So, and then shrimp boat led to a shark boat. So I got off the boat in 1992 to get married. So I got a land job at land surveying. So did that for 21 years.
Okay.
And then finally got laid off from there and told the wife I'm coming back out here in the Gulf. So I've been out here now for 15 years.
Okay, 15 years. So during those 15 years, did you face any, just say, economic times, as far as like, you know, the switching of the presidents and the highs and the lows? Because for me personally, being in the transportation industry, I hear people say each time a new president comes, we lose this or we lose that. How did you overcome those hurdles?
Well, we did take a very big pay cut in 2017.
Okay.
And so that was kind of rough, but now you just got to push through it and keep going.
But you knew you had to always be accountable to have some on a rainy day saved up.
Yeah.
Because you never know what might happen out here.
Yeah, true.
So as far as being in the transportation industry, did you have to pay an extensive amount of money for training, or did you have to go to college or some school, or?
No. I graduated high school in 1983, which never went to college, never went to the Air Force or any military thing. So, no. I had to go to school to get a couple of the licenses I have, but that wasn't very much money out of my pocket. So.
But did it cost you an arm and a leg?
No. No. Sometimes the company will also pay for your schooling also. So the first company I worked for, Guffmark, they paid for all of my schooling.
Okay.
So I didn't have nothing come out of pocket. The company I'm with now, they also pay for some of the schooling. So at all the licenses I had to get, I might have spent $600 of my own money.
And you think you got a big return on investment by now?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
And you have a six-figure income that only costs you a few $100s.
True.
Would you say it's well worth it after 15 years?
Well worth it after 15 years.
You damn skippy. So, being in the transportation industry 15 years, you invested in yourself. What would you recommend to the up-and-coming generation on what route to take coming out of high school?
If you want to come out in this type of transportation industry, you'll need to get your TWIC card. That's the very first thing you need to get. And that's $113. So, and then you go from there.
$113. So, coming out of high school, get your TWIC card. What other recommendations would you give them as far as, you know, just getting your TWIC card? You know, what else would they need?
You'll need your TWIC card. You'll need to get your MMC license. That's from the Coast Guard.
Okay.
But you'll have to fill out an application and all that to get approved. And then when you get your MMC card, you can just call around till you find somebody that's going to hire you.
Gotcha.
So, but then you got that's an OS, ordinary seaman. So in order to get move up, you got to be on a boat or something like that for so many days and all that. Require enough hours to advance up. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So you heard it here first. You got Dan Murphy gave us all the rundown on what you need to have to ordinary to survive in the seaman world or the transportation industry. And Darren, give the people on Talk to Me Driver a word for the day, for the future.
Hey, just go for it.
You heard it. Just go for it. Talk to Me Driver. Appreciate you, Mr. Murphy.
This should be played at high volume. Preferably, this is a JBB.
Joker, yeah. Everybody come on and put your hands high. Future baby, your boy, but he the man now. Man, I I be on patrol and I be getting it on. I be riding around town, stunting on you clowns. My hands up in the air, they never coming down. Y'all be hating on me. Why